I'm currently sharing the message regarding the Gospel of the Bible. The Gospel of the Bible is the very core message of the Bible. In John chapter 20, verse 31, the purpose of the Bible is stated that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God. And if you believe that way, you will gain life through his name. We can say that the Bible is given to us to make us believe, to believe in the gospel. The contents of the gospel is that Jesus is Christ, the Son of God, and the Bible was written for us to believe in that truth. When you believe that way, you will gain life. Therefore, the Bible continuously delivers the message that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, from beginning to end. The Bible is Christocentric and Christ-centered at the same time. Therefore, we need to understand correctly what it means that Jesus is Christ, the Son of God. Jesus is Christ until now. I have been explained the meaning of the Christ, and I will explore why Jesus is the Christ later through the oncoming video. Of course, I will elucidate it more later on, but I'm saying that Jesus was not the Christ in the beginning, and later he became the Christ. He was the Christ from the beginning, and just confirmed that he is the Christ through his cross and resurrection. In other words, he was revealed to us in Acts chapter 2, verses 36. It said, God has made this Jesus, whom you crucified, both Lord and Christ. If we misinterpret the sentence, we might come to say Jesus was a man, a human, but he came to Christ through carrying the cross. There are some people who understand it this way and argue like that, but that's not true. He is the Christ from the beginning to the end. He has come at the Christ, and he was manifested to us through the event of cross and resurrection. A confirmation, we can say. Now let me go back to where I left off. I am in the process of delivering the message on the meaning of the Christ, why Jesus is the Christ, and what is the meaning of believing Jesus as the Christ. To understand the meaning of the Christ, we need to understand the fatal problem of mankind. There are the fundamental problem that we can never resolve by ourselves, and all other problems occur following them. Mankind cannot solve the problem on their own. To save mankind from that, God has promised Messiah. Then what are the fundamental problems that we have? That's what I am talking about in the current video. We need to understand what the original state of mankind was in order for us to know what exactly we lost and what our real problems are. So I mentioned about the original state of mankind previously, and now explaining what kind of state we are in. It's not too much to say that mankind lost all blessing given by God. Mankind was created in the image of God, but now they lost it. Once a kingly being has become a slave, a spiritual being is dead. Mankind was degraded from the children of God to the children of the devil. Human beings that were supposed to manifest God and display God's glory now have fallen so much that they no longer can go near God. Falling short of the glory of God, all blessings were lost. Missing all the blessing is a problem. However, what's more serious is that the being we have become, the state we have fallen into. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16-24 portray most of the problem and curse that mankind faces after an incident happened in Genesis chapter 3. There are other verses that show how miserable the state of mankind has become. It's described as formless, empty, and darkness. in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2, and wicked and evil all the time. In Genesis chapter 6 5, Jeremiah chapter 17 9 said, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. While Matthew chapter 11 28 said, all are weary and burdened. Isaiah chapter 1 4 6 said, your whole head is injured, your whole heart afflicted, from the head to toe. There is no soundness. Moreover, Jesus directly states that things come from man are unclean and evil in Mark chapter 7 21 23. Finally, all men will die once, according to Hebrew chapter 9 verse 22 27. It's not the end. We will face death and also the eternal judgment, eternal death afterward. We might focus too much on the problem we face when we are separate from God. We are in a difficult, miserable situation. Yes, that's important. But in regard to the relationship with God, we have become enemy of God. Romans chapter 5:10 state plainly that we are enemy. We can find the same expression in Colossians chapter 1:21. We are not just far from God, like a neighbor without fellowship. When we are separate from God, that means we have become enemy of God. We are in a state that will inevitably result in receiving the wrath of God. That's what it means. The cross of Jesus signifies justice and love at the same time. God repay us according to our deed. At the same time, He loved us so much to extent of sending His one and only Son for us. Since He is God of love, can He just disregard the justice of part? No, He can't. We need to understand it correctly. We should acknowledge that we were enemy of God and we were under God's wrath when we left God. The current state of mankind is seriously miserable. So many problems emerge from that. Family problem, mental problem, relationship problem, and financial problem. So many symptoms we see are actually originate from being separate from God, being seized by sin and Satan. We cannot resolve this on our own. If we look at life from a broad point of view, there is only one problem in life, which means all problem came because of separation from God. Therefore, there is one solution for humanity. What is it? We need to meet God. There's only one way to meet God. That is the Christ. But who is the Christ? Only Jesus is Christ. This is what the whole Bible discloses. An enemy of God living in a miserable and deprived state which will cause God's wrath. That's the current state of man. We need to realize this. We cannot cover it. Even if we adorn ourselves with a beautiful thing we can see, this can be solved by the Christ, only Savior. From the next video, I will explain the fundamental problem of mankind in a specific and profound way.